If you've done any research on the Pyramids of Giza, you've probably seen the same warnings, scams, aggressive vendors, and big crowds. And while most of that is real, it's also completely manageable if you show up knowing what to expect. So in this video, we'll walk you through everything you need to get this visit right. Layout of the site, which tickets to opt for, and things to know before you go. Let's get into it. The site runs north to south with two entrances, one near the Great Pyramid on the north and one near the Sphinx on the east. The first stop is Khufu. This is the Great Pyramid and the one that immediately dominates your view the moment you walk in, and for good reason. It's the only surviving wonder of the ancient world. From there, towards the southwest, the route continues to Khafre. It's slightly smaller than Khufu, but sits on higher ground, which makes it look almost as tall. Look near the top, and the original white limestone casing is still partially visible. From Khafre, an uphill walk southwest brings you to the panoramic viewpoint, where all three pyramids appear in a single frame. This is the shot most visitors come for, and timing matters more than most people realize, but more on that later in the video. At the far end of the plateau sits Menkaure, the smallest of the three, but reportedly the most complex inside, along with three smaller Queen's pyramids nearby. From there, the route heads back east toward the Great Sphinx. Carved directly from the bedrock of the plateau, it's the largest ancient monolithic statue on Earth. Right beside it, the Valley Temple is one of the oldest standing temples in Egypt, and one of the most under-visited parts of the entire complex. The difference between a rushed visit and a genuinely great day here usually comes down to the tickets you pick. The starting point for everyone is the General Giza Complex entry ticket. This covers the full exterior experience: the Great Pyramid of Khufu, the Pyramids of Khafre and Menkaure, the Great Sphinx, and the Valley Temple. These usually start from around $25, or roughly Egyptian pound 1,300, and they're flexible entry tickets that let you explore the plateau at your own pace. You can buy them at the entrance on the day, but booking in advance is smarter. You skip figuring things out in the Cairo heat. Also, there's no reliable Wi-Fi on site, so download your ticket beforehand. Now the bigger decision. Do you go inside the Great Pyramid? Interior access is a separate ticket, and it comes with a caveat. The climb is narrow, steep, and warm, with limited space and airflow. It takes about 10 to 15 minutes each way. At the top, you reach the King's Chamber, a large granite room with an empty sarcophagus. There are no carvings, no paintings, no artifacts waiting inside. What makes it special isn't what's inside, but the fact that you're standing in a 4,500-year-old structure. If you're okay with tight spaces, it's a once-in-a-lifetime experience. If not, stick to the exterior. Interior access usually starts from around $65, or about 3,500 Egyptian pounds. If you want a slightly easier interior experience, fewer visitors opt for alternatives like Khafre's pyramid. It's quieter, passages are longer, and easier to move through. For a broader experience, combo tickets with the Grand Egyptian Museum also start around $65, or roughly 3,500 Egyptian pounds. The museum sits next to the plateau and houses thousands of artifacts, including Tutankhamun's collection. Most visitors do pyramids in the morning, the museum in the afternoon. If you want to avoid logistics, guided tours simplify everything. Half-day tours start around $60, or roughly 3,000 Egyptian pounds, and include hotel pickup, a licensed guide, and all key stops. Alternatively, you can opt for full-day guided tours, which combine Giza with Saqqara and Memphis. These start from around $80. Others combine Giza with Khan el-Khalili Bazaar for a broader Cairo experience. These cost around approximately $90. Whichever option you choose, the key takeaway is simple. Most visitors only come here once. Spending a few minutes understanding the ticket structure beforehand ensures the experience feels exactly as extraordinary as it should. All ticket options mentioned here are linked in the description below. First, timing matters more than most people realize. The Giza Plateau opens at 8 a.m., and arriving close to that is one of the best decisions you can make. The light is softer, the temperature is manageable, and the crowds are noticeably thinner. By 9:30 or 10 a.m., the tour buses start arriving, and the popular viewpoints fill up fast. Last entry to the complex is 4 p.m., and the site closes at 5 p.m. During Ramadan, that shifts to 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. If you're visiting in summer, early arrival isn't just about crowds. Temperatures on the plateau can climb well above 35 degrees, and there's almost no shade anywhere. Water, sunscreen, and a hat are non-negotiable. Getting there from central Cairo is simple. Uber and Careem both work reliably. The ride takes around 30 to 45 minutes, depending on traffic, and it avoids the negotiation that comes with traditional taxis. Now let's talk about the thing most travelers read about before coming here. Vendors and scams. The area around the entrance has people offering camel rides, souvenirs, and unsolicited help with photos. None of it is dangerous, but it can feel overwhelming if you're not expecting it. A polite no and keeping moving is all it takes. Two specific things worth remembering. Never hand your phone to a stranger offering to take your photo, and always agree on a price before getting on a camel or horse. If you are unsure, a licensed guide can help manage these interactions and make the whole visit much smoother. For photographs, the most famous spot is the panoramic viewpoint on the southwest side of the plateau, is where all three pyramids line up in a single frame. It is the classic image you see in travel magazines. Early morning is the best window for it, both for the light and the lack of crowds. For the Sphinx, skip the main viewing terrace and head to the side near the Valley Temple, where it lines up with Khafra behind it. Less crowded and a better composition. And that's it. We hope this guide helps you avoid the scams, plan your visit properly, and experience the Pyramids of Giza the way they're meant to be seen. If you still have questions about planning your trip, drop them in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more travel guides like this.